Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan.
And we're finally getting around to starting this princess tank project.
Yeah, we are. So we finally got Cap's tank in here, and the Pothos is doing pretty good. Not as good as it did out in that other room. We're leaving one of these lights on up here so it gets a little more light. It is crawling across. We did put this little kind of structure here up on the wall, kind of like one of these little metal structures, so we wanted to fill that in and everything, along with the other pins we put in there. It is crawling down here to the bottom. Now we're putting this princess tank on the bottom because it's going to be a little bit bigger, and the way that this is shaped, there's more support on the bottom. Plus, we got Lacey, and she's a little tiny wiener princess. That's our dachshund, by the way. And so we wanted to have a tank that she could actually look at too, right, kiddo?
Yes, yeah.
So we thought it'd be kind of neat.
She can't look all the way up there.
She can't see any of the tanks. We hold her up sometimes. So it's kind of like we're making a princess tank for female betas, and we're trying to find some mates to possibly breed Cap with. But on top of that, we got the princess of the house, good old Lacey, and this is going to be a tank she can see way down here on her level. And I think that's kind of fun too.
Yes.
So let's get out there, and we're going to show you the beginning stages of this guy. And what we're going to do is, this Pothos is actually going to, we're not going to use any plants inside the tank like we have in some of our other tanks. This Pothos is actually going to go in the top, all the way down in the top of this tank, going to give some roots on the top. But we're going to use fake plants, and we're going to show you why. Because they just were so darn cute. All right, as you can see from this background here, we really wanted to make this a beach-themed princess tank, kind of an oasis, right?
Yes.
And one of the ideas we got from a guy named B.R. Antov, we talked about him before, lives in Ukraine,
Yes.
awesome fish tuber, does a lot of cool things. One of the things that he did is he puts these little ponds and lakes and kind of things in his tank. And we asked him, how do you do that? And his name's really Boris, is his first name.
Yeah.
Really, really cool guy. We'll put a link in the description. And he gave us a little title. Now, we don't use any kind of fabric softener or anything like that, but he said you take these little things, you cut out these little pieces of plastic, and you put them down, and you can make little, like, streams and rivers between the gravel and stuff like that. Well, we know some people that use these, and specifically, there's this Downy brand like this, and it has these little,
Wave-looking.
yeah, kind of wavy things.
Yeah.
In fact, you saw this over at a friend's house, and you said, hey, Dad, what about those? So we said, hey, can you save us a couple? We're going to rinse them out, wash them real good. And what we did is we took one. You can see here's a whole one. Here's one. We cut it right down the middle, didn't we?
It looks like you just took a sword and...
We sliced it right down. Yeah, pretty much what we did is we took a razor. We took a razor knife kind of thing, and we cut it down the middle. Not rocket science, right?
Not really.
What we did is we put that middle, right smack dab in the middle of the tank. And we kind of pushed this down a little bit, and we silicone the daylights all the way around it. And the reason that we did that is because if you look at this from a level standpoint, this little area here is going to stick up. The rest is all going to be filled in with sand. We got some sand. You can use any kind of sand you want. Lots of people use different kinds. And the reason that we silicone this down was that we don't want water to go underneath it. I'm going to show you the bottom of this tank just to give you an idea. So there we go. It's silicone. We put some silicone on it and stuck it to the bottom of the tank, and then we put some more silicone around it. So that's basically a big air pocket in there.
Essentially.
The reason we did that is because, you know us, we're going to put a light on the bottom, aren't we?
Yes.
We're going to light it up from the bottom. We're going to put a light right on this glass, and we don't want algae to grow underneath this little oasis type of pond or lake or whatever. You want to call it an oasis. So we silicone that, silicone some rocks, and that's going to be filled with sand. So the only part you're going to see is this part of the container here as a little kind of oasis in the middle of the sand, and of course it's going to be lit up. Now the cool part is these are very opaque.
Yes, they are.
And the light doesn't shine through much. In fact, it only kind of shines through on these little grooves, these little lines. So you're going to have this little circular area in the middle. It's going to have a nice little lighting
I
effect.
remember 5th grade science, opaque means you can't see through it.
Yeah, you can't really see through it. So it's not, you're not really going to see a light. You're just going to see a little bit of a glow. We'll probably have that light on a timer. It's going to be this under oasis. This is all going to be sand. And again, the pothos from Cap's tank is going to come down through the back, probably going to have some roots, pull out those nitrates and that. And we put some rocks here and silicone them in as well. And the reason is because we found something really awesome. We looked around through the whole shutdown last year. We were looking for fun stuff for this, weren't we?
Yes.
And we found a whole bunch of these amazing little guys, didn't we?
Yeah, those little palm trees.
Little palm trees.
You can even turn the leaves.
How cute are these? We found all of these different kinds, and we found them on a cake topping website.
Yeah, because, you know, you want like an island cake kind of thing.
Yeah, we found that cake topping things are made of resin, just like inserts that go into fish tanks. Look at this, guys. How cute is that going to be?
It's not like a polymer. It's just like a pure plastic.
Yeah, look at that. So what we're going to do is we have like 20 of these trees. Look at long ones, short ones, brown ones, tan ones. And we're going to silicone these guys all to the top of these rocks. And that sand is just going to cover that bottom. So you're just going to see the palm trees and that coming out of the sand. And we're going to do a little hang on the back kind of heater, kind of over in the corner, so it's not too obvious. And basically, we're just going to have sand. We're going to have palm trees around this corner, palm trees in that corner, palm trees up here in the front by the thermometer here.
And this looks, trust me, this is all going to be covered in sand, so just that little slim of that hill is going to look like a lake.
Yeah, you're only going to see the little lit up lake.
Small.
And we got a really awesome light. Look at this light, guys. This was an amazing light that we found. Big, huge, awesome LED light. We took the cover off so it'll be even brighter. We're going to put that underneath the tank so that it seals. See how it's got like this rim here? So it'll seal right to the bottom of the tank, underneath that rack, and shine right up through that lake there. Isn't that cool? Yeah. Found this at Menards on the clearance rack for $2.99. It's like one of these little replacement LED bulbs. So you have kind of like old-fashioned lights like we do there. You can take those out, put it in there, and make it look a little more modern. We don't care about the lights in our house. We care about the lights in our fish tank. And we had this was an old light fixture attachment. So basically for $3, got that little guy. These are some old LED strips that we had sitting around that we're going to put on top. Might just put one of them. And this was an old, let me show you what the old one looked like here. This was a really old strip here. If you see this thing here, this was a really old strip that I think I had on a tank a long time ago, got some algae. Anyway, it has this plastic cover. We just took that other one out of the plastic cover. We're going to connect it to the top of the shelf above that one, right?
Yeah.
So that strip will be sitting on top of this here. It's going to give some light from the top. That'll be on a timer. The other light over there shining up through will be on a timer. So the top light will be on during the day, bottom light will be on during the night. We got a dual timer here. Jack said this looks like kind of like a Star Wars ship right there, doesn't it?
Kind of
like a TIE fighter.
Yeah, something.
So these will both be on timers, all underneath that rack, plugged in. So we're going to have daylight on the top, on the bottom. We may do a third light where we do kind of like on the back here, like maybe attach a very small LED light, do a little setting sun there perhaps in the horizon. Might do something like that, or a little moonlight or something. Still messing around with that. So look at all these trees. All these trees are going to go in. Now check this out, guys. Look what else they gave us. When they sent us these trees, they sent us these amazing umbrellas. These two miniature umbrellas. So we're going to have a little umbrella sticking out of one of these things over here in the sand. And check this out, guys. How cool is this? Even a tiny little princess beach chair. Look at that.
That's very cute.
How amazing is that? So we have already super glued this to a rock. We have a little beach chair. And so this will sit kind of in the sand, something of that nature, kind of in front of the little oasis lake there. So there's going to be a little beach chair, kind of perfect size for a little female beta to come and rest on there. You know how they rest on leaves like that? Wouldn't that be cool? If one of these little gals just kind of comes and lays down right there in a little lounger chair in front of the...
They sleep on the leaves.
Wouldn't that be cool? I can't wait to see if that happens.
That would be sweet.
Now, so we talked, we're going to have a little filter like that. We're going to have an under lake light. All this will be covered with sand. We're going to have the palm trees all around. the umbrella, the beach chair with the umbrella. But of course, little princesses, they need a castle, don't they?
Yes,
And we tossed this around a lot, and we came across this little ditty.
You don't usually like castles like that, but it was perfect for covering up the filter.
Yeah, look at this little guy. This is one of the most ugly castles we've ever seen ever. But it was a broken down old castle that was actually in a tank at our LFS. And they were like, hey, and I said, we're really looking for something pink. We want it to be totally gaudy. We want it to be princessy and just ridiculously sappy. Yeah. So he took it out of the tank and he goes, you guys can just have it. It's ugly anyway. So here's the cool part. Look at this. Take that out of there, buddy. He's checking out the detergent things. Take that little filter. Oh, look at that. Now, this is a little filter. This is a cool little sponge filter. Now, you got to remember, guys, after we get all the sand in here and the plants and everything, this is a very small tank. It's only going to be about 7 or 6 gallons of water in here. This is made for about a 5-gallon tank. So it's a little tiny little air sponge filter. It fits inside of this castle. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to drill some holes in the side of this. And in the top, we're going to take an air tube, bring the air tube down there. This is going to cover this up. Look at this, guys, how cool this is going to be. This is going to go right in the corner. Now, this is going to sit up in the sand, so it won't be down in here, but it's going to kind of sit up in the sand. That's kind of where it's going to be. That little air tube's going to come out the top. It's going to be sitting up. It's got like a sandy bottom, so it'll match. Again, all this will be sand. All you'll see is the chair, the umbrella, the other umbrella, the maybe some other stones, and then this kind of all these trees. This is going to be super, super, super fun, guys. We're totally thrilled that we had a lot of ideas in our minds, but it's starting to kind of happen now.
Yes.
Where do we get this tank? You remember?
Ohio Fish Rescue.
Yes, we were helping out at the Ohio Fish Rescue one day, and this was a mess, a total complete mess. And a lot of times people just drop things off there, don't they?
Yes.
They just drop stuff off. Now, they can't use a tank like this at the fish rescue much, can they?
No, not really.
What this is actually a critter cage. This is like a 9-gallon critter cage. A lot of people think it's 10 gallons. It's actually a little bit smaller than a 10-gallon tank.
It's like for like very small frogs.
Like a frog or some little lizards or a little baby snake.
Or like eggs. Or like
the reason we like this one is a 10-gallon tank didn't fit on the bottom of that stand. It didn't fit between the legs.
No.
We took this because we knew it was a little bit smaller. It actually fits. Now, a lot of people say, hey, you can't go filling that up with water. Well, here's what we did. We took the screen out of this. There's normally a screen that slides in and out. This whole top comes off, and this front would slide in and out, and that screen would go in there and out there so little critters that are in there can't come out. Well, here's the thing. We took the screen out. First of all, it was torn and ripped up because it was old and nasty. Took it out, cleaned everything because it was nasty, and we super glued this slider area in. Now, one of the things that make critter cages a little bit weaker is have a little bit weaker glass. But by kind of super gluing this together, we're going to give it more, strength on the top, and it's not going to boat. And we know it works because we filled it up for a month and let it sit, didn't we?
Yes.
Filled it up in the laundry room, let it sit for a whole month, and it didn't leak, didn't bow.
No, that's good then, because it's at least about like, what'd you say, 20, not 20 gallons, what'd you say it was?
It's only 9 gallons.
Yeah, 9 gallons of water. I mean, that's still hell.
Yeah, but after we put all this sand in the bottom, we're going to have this air pocket in there. It's really only going to be about probably 6 or 7 gallons of actual water with all this other stuff in it. Love this background. Found that background on a clearance rack for like 99 cents. We have put literally only about probably $20 into this project.
At least.
Now, where do we get this? We actually got this little filter on a contest from Langan and Animals.
Yes.
Remember she did? We'll put a link to Langan's website. She does little contests all the time. This is a great, great little filter. This is one of the smallest ones they make. They do make different sizes. See, it says up to 10 gallons. Well, this is only going to be like about 6 gallons of water, like I said. So already, even without putting the sand in or the water, you can see how this is coming around. I love this ugly little pink castle. Because you got the blues, you got the greens, you got the reds, the primary colors, the beach. I love this. We're really digging this. We had this idea. We didn't know how it was going to come out. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to start siliconing these trees to these rocks, all this kind of stuff. So the next update you see, we're going to do in a couple of weeks. All the trees, the sand will be in there. Everything will be in there. And we might even have it filled with water. Now, the cool part is we use a lot of sponge filters, don't we?
We do. It's actually better.
On our little tanks. We're going to take all those sponge filters, squeeze them out in this guy. So it's going to have all that culture and all that bacteria. It's a great starter. We're going to start cycling this tank. It'll probably be ready for fish just in a few weeks.
Probably.
We've done that kind of thing before, and it seems to work really well. I love the pink castle against the sand, the blue background. I love this. I love this how this is coming around. We weren't sure about it. Now that we're starting to put it together, we're very excited. This is going to be a fun project. Again, guys, you want to make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell for future notifications so you don't miss the next update on this. By the time you see this tank again, it'll most likely be filled with water on that rack with some pothos coming in there and everything. And then probably what we'll do is we'll go shopping in a few weeks after that for some female betas.
Yes, I'm excited.
Gonna have this princess tank with some female betas. We're thinking about maybe some long-finned plecos.
Possibly just as like vacuum kind of fish.
Well, plus they're so princessy with the long fins and the veils. So, and they'll get along. So maybe, 2 or 3 little female betas, maybe 1 or 2 long fin plecos. Not going to put a ton of fish in here. Not that big. Female betas don't get as big. We might only get 2. We'll see what it looks like after we get things going. But I think it'll be okay. And we're going to then down the road try to breed them with cap.
Possibly, yes.
This is very exciting. It's getting exciting, guys. So hit the bell. Don't miss out. And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.